So I just saw this article talking about how there's this woman in Quebec. So this is taking place in Canada, so anything I say after this is referring to Canadian stuff. You'll see why I'm saying that in a bit. So that had a case where she was wearing her hijab at work, and then she was told to take it off and everything else, or else she couldn't come to work with the hijab basically. And she even went to court, and the judge ruled that she's not allowed to wear the hijab in her workplace, and saying shit like, well, you're not allowed to wear hats or sunglasses at that workplace, so why the hell should we let you wear a hijab? And I'm like, well, that's because a hat or sunglasses is just style or fashion or whatever, like, it's meaningless. But a hijab is a religious garment, and it has a lot of meaning to the person, and according to the religion, women aren't allowed to be seen by anyone other than any men or that aren't their family without a hijab on. So it's a little bit different than a hat or a pair of sunglasses. And it's not the first time this sort of thing has happened. It happens all the fucking time, particularly in Quebec, because Quebec is not nice to people who aren't Francos, even. Like, I'm trying to think, I was gonna say who aren't, white, and I'm like, or white Christians or whatever, and I'm like, no, because Quebecers have that same sort of racist mentality to people who just are Anglo. So in Canada, we tend to say Franco or Anglo. Franco means that French was your first language. Anglo means that if English was your first language. That's all it means. So yeah, so they, like, I've heard stories of people like ostracizing their family members because they married an Anglo and shit like that. So Quebecers are not. I'm not saying all Quebecers are, obviously, but they're kind of known for that shit, despite the fact that, like, Montreal is one of the most ethnically diverse cities in the world. But anyways, moving on. Quebec has had all sorts of a long history of having things where you can't wear the hijab in workplaces, on sports teams, in class even, and it's such fucking bullshit. You wanna know why? The Canadian military allows religious head garments to be worn with the uniform, even in parade dress, which is extremely strict on how you. And I mean, the military's like got the strictest dress code ever. If your shoes are not polished to a shine to the point where you can see your fucking reflection off of it, you get freaking in trouble. If you have your hair just a little longer than you're allowed to, you get in trouble. If your hair isn't tightly tied back into a bun, you get freaking in trouble. I remember when I was in Army Cadets as a kid, 12, anyways, and I had an ink stain on my chin from class. I hadn't even realized I'd gotten, because I'd like come straight from school, and apparently I didn't get to see a mirror. I don't remember, anyways, because my pen exploded. Anyways, I couldn't get the freaking stain off, and I got in fucking trouble for that. But as long as you're wearing the hijab or the turban or the whatever, according to I remember when I was in cadets, the thing that they had for showing how your tie is supposed to be dressed, like the length of everything for your growths, and like how your beret was supposed to look and everything else. Right? But they had that same chart at how the freaking turban was supposed to look, or how the freaking hijab and everything else. It's just that the turban had to be, or the whatever, the head scarf or turban, etc., had to be the same color as the uniform. So I mean, I was an Army cadet, so that's that same shade of green, and then you had to, like, for the turban, where it kind of like joins in the middle up here, you had to put the pin for that we had on all of our berets, for your squadron. And if you're wearing the hijab, you don't have it like across your shoulders, you have it tucked into your shirt, and you're wearing the hat on top. So depending on if you're Navy, your wedge. If you're sorry, I mixed that up. Air Force, wedge. Navy, your little hat. Anyways, and beret for Army. So it's totally fucking accepted in the fucking Canadian military, as long as you have it done in the right pattern, super neat and tidy and everything else, and it's the scarf or the turban or whatever is the right color, and you have your pin. So why is it that your fucking store or your company has a stricter dress code for this specific issue, nothing else, for this specific issue, than the fucking military? Like, all of your excuses are bullshit when the fucking military is more accepting of religious diversity than your fucking company. You're just trying to be racist, or whatever the term is for being that's against religions, people of different religions. Because, I'm sorry, but like, a hijab is like, well, we don't let people wear any sort of religious stuff, like crosses or whatever else. I'm like, well, they aren't wearing, you know, any sort of symbols of their religion. They're just wearing a fucking headscarf. Like, come on, dude. And, like, ugh. It's so stupid. Like, I remember seeing this, like, what would you do thing, about a guy with a turban and, not being allowed to wear it at work type deal, like, it was a fake interview with customers, in earshot and everything else saying, oh, you can't wear that turban, blah, 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 and I was, like, feeling the same thing, and it's happened all over the place, where people, like, particularly people of religions where they tend to be brown, like, not all Muslims are brown, obviously, and whatever else, but they tend to be discriminated against more, and they're like, oh, well, their religious beliefs are tended to be treated like stupid or silly or just pointless or whatever else, when, like, come on, dudes. Because, like, the thing is that people don't realize the religious significance of the headscarf or the turban or whatever else. According to the religion, the hair is not allowed to be shown at all. Like, they have to cover it up, and that's what the scarf and the head turban is for. It's not just a fashion statement or an accessory, it is literally to abide by their fucking creed, or else they'll get in trouble or whatever else. Like, it's more significant than a freaking hat. And I remember seeing this one quote on the What Would You Do? Like, this lady's like, well, if my religion said I had to walk around naked, I wouldn't expect other people to understand. I'm like, well, no, because that's just stupid. But that's not, no. The whole point of the hijab is so that women and men are supposed to be equal, and, like, they're not distracted by differences and crap like that. And in fact, there's tons of Muslim countries where women have more equality than in fucking USA and Canada and shit, and it's just fucking bullshit, and I'm swearing and cursing, and you get the point, so I'm gonna end the video here. Thanks for watching.